Hi guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? I want to do a video today about the unsung heroes of rock and roll, as I see it. People that were great, but got either overshadowed or overlooked by history or people at the time. First, Michael Anthony, and a bassist for Van Halen, and also Alex Van Halen, drummer for Van Halen. Those guys rock, dude. Michael Anthony can actually play the bass, and Alex was cool. They're just not Eddie Van Halen or David Lee Roth. So there's that. Robin Trower, great guitarist, got overlooked because he's ugly. Jim Stewart was his singer. He wasn't great looking either, but great band, great songs. It just Robin was kind of on the ugly side, if you know. Who else? Let me think here. Noel Redding of the Jimi Hendrix Experience never got any attention. I mean, Mitch Mitchell, great drummer. Jimi Hendrix, greatest guitarist of all time. But what about Noel Redding on bass? He was cool. That guy was cool, dude. He was good. He wasn't Jimi Hendrix, you know. In fact, he was originally a guitar player. It's just Jimmy asked him to play bass if he would, and he said sure. Jimmy liked Noel Redding's hairstyle, so that helped him get the gig. I even heard somewhere along the line that there was a coin toss for Mitch Mitchell's spot as drummer, that he might have just had a coin toss with another potential drummer. One of them had to win. I guess it was Mitch, you know. Who else is unsung hero in rock and roll? Let me think here. Jonathan Mover and in some ways Stu Hamm of Jimi Hendrix, of Joe Satriani's first band that he did, Not of This Earth, and Surfing with the Alien, and also Flying in the Blue Dream with. Joe just up some fires him one day. Goodbye, Steve. Bye, Stu Hamm. Bye, Jonathan Mover. You're out. And he got in return, he got second rate compared to those two guys. Greg Bissonette and Matt Bissonette. Greg's Bissonette is cool. He played drums for David Lee Roth band. But Matt Bissonette, dude, he can barely play. Is my thought, especially compared to Stu Hamm, right? So why'd you fire your band, Joe? Anybody else? What I'm thinking about it. I think Frank Zappa's kind of overlooked. He's not completely overlooked. Of course, people know who he is, but people don't listen to his music as much as they probably should, or maybe even at all. It's deep, but it's good listening. Listen to Dumb All Over. I love that song. I've done it on my channel several times. Great. You know, everybody knows who he is, but people don't listen to his music. They don't go, hey, let's put on the Frank Zappa record. They just don't do it. But he was great. R.I.P. Frank. And yes, I mean that Steve Vai. I'm not just saying it as a charlatan. Overlooked, huh? Let me think here. I'm just winging this as usual, LOL. I think the band Winger got hard knocks because they wrote a song called 17 about underage sex, but they were great. Sorry if that made them not popular. Anybody else while I'm talking? Oh gosh, let me think. Let me think. I didn't plan this or rehearse it. I mean, I knew what I was going to talk about, but I didn't rehearse what I was going to say. Vinnie Moore, shredder, neoclassical shredder on the long lines of Yngwie Malmsteen, never got any credit. Had a band called, was in a band called Vicious Rumors. They did an album called Soldiers of the Night. And Vinnie Moore did 2 albums solo. He did did one called Mind's Eye, and he did one called Time Odyssey. See, even I can barely remember. He was great, dude. That guy could shred, man. He was great. Yngwie had nothing on him, but he never made anything much out of himself. At least compared to Yngwie and that kind of thing. But Soldier of the Night by Vicious Rumors, great album. Benny Moore, great guitarist. While I'm at it, I don't want to stop the video and say I missed somebody. Let me just keep thinking just for a sec here. Buddy Miles of the Band of Gypsies band Jimi Hendrix was in after the Jimi Hendrix Experience, could sing like Ian Gillan and play drums at the same time. Listen to the Band of Gypsies album, great. Really could sing high notes and also drum, you know. Anybody else? Just don't want to miss anybody. Let me just think a minute longer here. Thinking. Bill Connors sounded a lot like Alan Holdsworth in the day. Never got thought of. He did an album called Step It. Never got any attention, but he was good. Scott Henderson got slightly more attention with Tribal Tech, but he kind of was underrated. Also a very fusion guitar player. Ronnie Johnson was in a band called First Light. Their album was called How the Land Lies. Another person that sounded like Jimi Hendrix. I mean, sounded like Alan Holdsworth. It was even Ronnie Johnson and Alan Holdsworth were even friends. Don't even know. Nobody even knows he existed. First Light, How the Land Lies, starting Ronnie Johnson and Alan Holdsworth's friend on guitar. Nobody would know that. He was good. Band called Soft Machine had an album called Alive and Well in Paris. It didn't have Alan Holdsworth on guitar. It had another dude on guitar. I'm trying to think of his name. As I try to think of the name of someone I'm trying to say was underrated. LOL. I can't remember the guy's name. Great guitarist, though. If I can think of his name, though. Can't really think of him. He was good. Who else? John McLaughlin, Mahavishnu Orchestra. Didn't get any attention. He was good. Birds of Fire. He did a song called Dance of Maya. It's in 28 time. That means 20 beats per measure. Eighth note gets the beat. The time signature is 28 time. A song called Dance of Maya. Good guitar player. John McPoney was an electric violinist that didn't get much attention. He did an album called Enigmatic Ocean, which had Alan Holdsworth on guitar, but John McPoney never did anything. It's going to sound like I'm talking out of both ends of my head, but I don't think that Jeff Berlin got proper credit for being the baddest bass player in the world that ever existed. He never got that Holdsworth status or whatever. Should have got more credit. Jeff Berlin, best bass. Only one of the few people on earth that if I met him, I would say, I put my guitar down, bow to him, and say, "Teach me something, Jeff." I wouldn't do that with very many people, but I would do that for Jeff Berlin. Great bass player. I learned the solo to Blood in the Brain Part 2 from Road Games 1984 when I was 17. I didn't just learn the Alan Holdsworth solos. I learned Jeff Berlin's solo. He's a bass player. That's how cool he was. Sorry about that, Jeff. Let's see. Who else? I mean, Jip Berlin should have been like Michael Anthony level, as far as popularity and all that. But no. Black Flag had a singer named Henry Rollins and a guitarist named Greg Ginn, Ginn. Great album, great band. Never did anything. It was called Black Flag. Band was called the band was called Black Flag. The album I liked from 1984 was called Family Man. Cool album. You want the Family Man or the Swinging Man? The Family Man. You get the Family Man. It's totally spoken like rap, but not even with a melody, by Henry Rollins. Awesome. Greg Ginn had a great style. Kind of played atonal sometimes, but I loved it. The band Triumph never got much attention. They were a trio from Canada, just like Rush. They never got any attention. They had an album called Allied Forces. They were good. Fight the good fight every moment, every day. Fight the good fight every moment. Make it worth the price you pay. Cool man. Never got much attention, dude. Loudness, band from Japan, had an album, a bunch of albums. They had Disillusion, it came out in 1984. They had Thunder in the East, came out in 1985. They're nobody. I wanted to do them. I still want to do some of their songs. I just haven't got the time yet, but I want to do some stuff off of Thunder in the East. Guitarist named Akira Takasaki, very underrated, very the Japanese Eddie Van Halen, you could say. I have a melody from this is how much they impress me. I can actually sing one of the guitar melodies I've never learned from Disillusion. Dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da 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 da. Na 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 na. I mean, Bruce Springsteen level, as far as just totally should have been like famous. They weren't. You've got your bad excuses. I've got my anger. One fight, guess who loses? That's what tortures me. That's off of Get Away. Get away, I'm telling you. Get away, I'm telling you. Ricochet, off Danger Way. Get away, move faster. Get away, disaster. Watch what you say. On the way, on the watch what you say. On the danger way, without voices, you could die. Without metal, you could die. Without poison, you could die. Hit and run at midnight. I mean, why wasn't that fucking like Def Leppard level? So cool, guys. I mean, it just doesn't get better than that, really. Anyway, I love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.